Hi, I'm Allison for Leading Edge Dog Show Academy, and today we are going to lead you through pin brushes. So my two favorites, the oval and the oblong, and through the different coat types, when you would use what brush where, and exactly how each one of these brushes can help you out. So let's hop to it. First of all, we have our double coat type, and you know, for me, always my workhorse brush is my oval brush. So my oval brush is basically for all of my line brushing, all of like it's my workhorse. It's doing the work for me. And the oblong brush is for styling, right? So I might use it for the toes, armpits, behind the ears, in the sanitary area. But also if there's any weird cowlick happening, you really want to stretch some coat and make it look a little bit longer, I'm going to be using my oblong pin brush and really using it like a round brush and really styling the hair with it. Now, when it comes to my drop coated breeds, again, I'm going to be using the oblong for those hard to reach areas, right? Behind the ears, in the armpits, the toes. And a lot of times I'm going to be using it for all of the undercarriage, that shorter leg hair. And you must have the oval brush, right? There is so much area to cover on a drop coated breed. There's so much coat there. You really need an oval brush to get that work done efficiently for you. Efficient both for your time and your dog's time, but you might have some shorter hairs. You might have some hair that doesn't want to be as straight as the other hair. That's when the oblong brush comes in, because the oblong brush really helps you stretch that hair and get it as long and straight and beautiful as you need it. Now my scissored coat type, again, the oval brush, always going to be my workhorse. I'm really using this like on that scissored coat type literally probably 98% of the time, and just using my oblong, you know, for maybe behind the ears, maybe in the armpits, but for the most part I am using my oval pin brush on that scissored coat type. Setter Spaniel, again, the oval is my workhorse, but a lot of times with Setter Spaniels we have a lot of little areas that need stretching and just getting that perfect look. So sometimes elbows, the back of the pants, under the tail, that stifle hair, all of those tend to need a little bit more styling on those Setter Spaniels. And so I find that I probably use my oblong brush as much, maybe a little bit more, especially on the Spaniels, than I use my oval brush. Moving on to smooth coated dogs. Yeah, you guys are lucky. You don't need either one of my pin brushes. So and again, wire coat types, I do like the oblong, right? Because it helps me get into their legs. You do a lot of leg work on the wire coat type. You do the eyebrows, the beards on many of those wired coat types. And I just find I'm using my oblong a lot. A lot of times they don't have a lot of acreage to cover, so I don't really need my oval brush for that type. So typically wires, I am sticking to this oblong pin brush for probably 75 to 80% of my work. Here we are with a drop coated breed, and we are going to talk about when you use a oblong pin brush and when you would use a oval pin brush. Now remember, pin brushes can be different sizes and shapes like we see here. The one thing pin brushes are always going to have is a straight pin. So I really think that my oval pin brush is my workhorse pin brush, right? So this is a pin brush that I'm going to use, you know, on a drop coated breed over the entire dog. This is my brushing brush to brush out knots, to brush out tangles, to get that nice finish for the show ring or just for around your house. So when am I going to use my oblong pin brush? So I'm using my oblong pin brush to do that kind of styling work. So the styling work like around the eyes, under the ears. I like to use them if I'm stretching the coat at all. She has beautiful, nice straight coat, but if you were using a dryer and you had a dog with a curlier or wavier coat, you would use your oblong pin brush kind of like a round brush and really stretch the coat as you were drying it. Oblong pin brushes are also really great for getting between the toes, right? Because of their shape, getting into the armpits, again, because of their shape. You can just use like the end of the brush, and getting into sanitary areas as well. So I like to use my oval pin brush as my workhorse and my oblong for styling. you know, especially around the head, around the eyes and ears, and also getting knots and tangles out of the more difficult to reach areas like in the toes and the armpits. Our oval pin brush is always our workhorse pin brush, and we would use that all over the entire dog. You know, if she had more leg furnishings, I would switch to the oblong. The oblong is our styling brush. So for me, that's what I would be typically using on most of her body, like on her face to style it. And if she had more leg furnishings, I find that the oblong does a better job of taking care of those because you can do a little bit more styling with it. So on this wire coat type with that shorter, you know, you're only using the oblong as your styling brush and your oval brush as your workhorse brush. So the next time you're thinking about oval or oblong brush, maybe you're just going to purchase one, or maybe you already have one. Do you need the other one? I hope that today's tutorial helped you figure out what brush you're going to use and when, and where your next investment might be. Hey everyone, thanks for watching today's video. Please leave us a comment below, let us know what you thought, and as well, if you have any ideas for future content that you'd like to see, you can put them down there as well. You can head over to leadingedgedogshow.com where you can find our free, premium, and subscription content, and we'd love to have you join us there. As well, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. That way you never miss another free video tutorial. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.